Hello everyone and welcome to our paint night. Today we'll be painting summer blossoms and we're going to start with 4 colors. We're going to start with white, green, teal, and pink. If you don't have the exact shades that we will be using on our demonstration today, don't worry about it. At the end of our class, everyone's going to have a different painting anyway. So the shade of the color is not very important right now, just as long as you have at least white, green, a shade of blue, and a shade of pink. We're going to start off with those 4 colors on a paper plate. Go ahead and pour your colors onto your paper plate, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So first we're going to have our white. We're going to dip all 3 colors. We're going to dip, all 3 fingers into our white paint. And we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle that white paint all over using your fingers, tapping your fingers onto your paper, spreading your white paint all the way around. It's going to be looking like polka dots all over your painting. So go ahead and do polka dots all over. Go ahead and rub it in where needed to. We're just starting in the middle of our paper. We're going to be spreading that white in. So go ahead and just dot all over the middle of your paper. And then we're going to go ahead and dip our finger into our teal color or any shade of blue that you're using. And we're going to be tapping it in around the edges. So we're going to start around the edge, move into a little bit of the middle, but mostly staying around the edges. We're going to be mixing that into our white, so it's going to become different shades of teal. It's going to look like we have some darker leaves. We're going to look like we have some lighter leaves. So the different shades are going to blend in. And don't worry about if you think it's blending too much. It won't be blending too much. Everything is going to end up perfect at the end. So just go ahead and add white as you feel or teal as you feel to finish up your blossoms. Just go ahead and keep adding more blue as you can watch in our demonstration. If you have any questions or you need to stop, go ahead and just take a moment, and we will be repeating these as we are going. So if you need to, just go ahead and take a moment, refresh yourself, maybe wipe your fingers off if you feel they're getting too dirty, and go ahead and continue with us. So we're continuing with our teal. We're just dotting in more with our fingers. We're not using any paintbrushes yet. We will get to our paintbrushes later. So we're adding in our teal. We're still blending it. This is going to look like a bunch of summer blossoms. So as you can see, we have a lot of different shades. So not every flower or summer blossom is exactly the same color. They do vary, so we're going to be showing that in our painting today. So let's go ahead and add our darker blues if you have them. If not, that's perfectly fine if we're still sticking with our teal color, because our teal will provide a lot of different shades just with teal and white. So let's go ahead and stick with that. And remember, we're using our fingers for this. No brushes yet. We want everyone to experience how our paint feels on our fingers. It's okay to be messy tonight. Let's just go ahead and use our fingers for the painting. We are mixing in white wherever we see it needed. Go ahead and just mix it in. We're just blotting, tap onto your paper. So it looks like we have little circles or dots on our paper. And let's add in our green now. So let's go ahead and get our green. And we're going to dot that in coming off from the side. It's going to almost look like a branch is leaning into your painting, okay? So go ahead and grab some green. Again, it's going to mix in with all the other colors and provide different shades of green. So don't worry if you feel like you're not doing the right color. No worries there. Every color is going to look different. So as you can see, the green that we're doing right now, there are some darker spots and there are some lighter spots. So don't worry about that. If you think it is too dark or too light either way, go ahead and add the paint as you feel needed, okay? So we're just blotting this in. We're just doing tap. We are not doing any stroke marks, okay? So no stroke marks. We are just dotting it in. It might look like a mess. You might feel like, hey, my painting looks like a mess right now. I don't think I'm doing this right. That's not a problem, okay? All of our paintings are going to be looking perfect at the end. So just go ahead and keep following along. We're adding more green into the corners now. Again, if we need to, we're going to be adding more white, okay? So if you need to, go ahead and take a break right now. Pour some more white onto your paper and then follow along when you're ready, okay? Let's go ahead and just grab some green without the white. That way we can get some darker shades toward the bottom. As you will see, when we're done with our painting, it's going to look like we are looking up into some trees almost with our summer blossoms. We are continuing with our green. We're grabbing some of our green and just putting it into the corners. This is going to be without the white, so it looks a little bit darker than the rest of it, okay? So it's going to look like this part is in the shadows, if you will. We're still sticking with our fingers here. We are not using any brushes quite yet, so don't worry about your brush yet, okay? You can use the very tip of your finger to make smaller little dots, or you can use the whole flat of your finger to make a bigger summer blossom, okay? So don't worry about it if you're using the tip of your finger or the bottom full of your finger. All of our pictures are going to look beautiful by the end. Now, as you can see, we're blotting in some white around the edges to make the colors blend a little bit more smoothly. And don't worry if the paint is feeling a little bit slimy right now, guys. It's going to be perfect at the end, okay? So we're focusing on our green right now, and then on our empty corner, we're going to add in our pink, okay? So we're going to start with the white again, dot a little bit of white in there to get the lighter pinks. Remember, we want the lighter colors in the middle. We'll add the darker colors toward the end. And we're going to grab our pink. We're still using our finger, so just go ahead and dip your finger into your pink. And then we're going to use our finger to dot that into our upper corner where we're missing our colors right now, okay? All right, and then we're using our pink. If we have purple or other colors we would like to add, go ahead and add them as little flowers. But if not, that's perfectly fine. We're going to stick with our pink. You can have pink flowers or you can use the blue and have blue flowers. So we're going to be finishing that up right now. And we're going to use our finger to dot. Let's use the tip of our finger so we have smaller flowers. So we're going to use the very tip of your finger to put a lot of random little dots all around your painting right now. Let's focus them around the corners where our dark colors are. So let's put tiny dots of your favorite color. Either pick whichever colors you have available to you. I'm going to use pink, and there's going to be some purples in there, which is pink mixed with blue if you want to go ahead and try that out. So go ahead and try those out. And we're going to just use the skinniest part of our finger on the top, the tippy top. And we're going to dot those in so they look like tiny flowers are coming out, okay? Don't worry if they don't look exactly like flowers. They look a little bit like leaves falling. That's perfectly fine. This is our summer blossom finger painting. So let's go ahead and dot our flowers in. Let's see how our summer blossoms turn out. Perfect. Okay. And now we're going to add our brush. So go ahead and let's take a moment. Let's wipe off of our fingers and let's go ahead and grab your brush, okay? If you feel like you need to add a little bit of extra details into your painting with your finger, go ahead and do that now before you wipe off your finger. Okay, so with our brush, we are going to use our stroke marks to make branches coming out of our summer blossoms, okay? So our branches, like I said earlier, it looks like we're laying on the floor in a beautiful little summer blossom forest. and we are looking up into the trees where the summer blossoms are touching each other. And we're looking up and we can see some branches. We can see our summer blossoms. We can see how they kind of blend together, it almost looks like. So we're going to use our brush to draw the branches that we see. Okay, so just skinny little lines, random. They're not going to be straight. They're going to be kind of wobbly. Okay, so let's make some wobbly kind of lines. And go ahead, and you don't have to follow the ones that are shown here. If you want to make your own little random branches, that's perfectly fine. If you want to follow the ones we do here, that's perfectly fine. So just go ahead and make your small little branches. If you want one branch, if you want no branches, and you like how it is right now, perfect, okay? But let's go ahead and try out the branches so we can use our paintbrush. So we're going to just do our skinny little lines. We're reaching out, making them longer if we need to, keeping the other ones shorter if they look better that way. We can add them into where our flowers are. Don't worry if you think you're going over colors. That's perfectly fine. As you can see, when you look up into a tree, the branch kind of will cover some of the tree, right? So it's okay to cover some of the flowers that we did just paint, okay? So don't even worry about that. All right, and then once you're done with your branches, we are all done. We just have to wait for our painting to dry. Don't touch it, because it will get ruined. So let's go ahead and leave that to dry. Everything looks beautiful, you guys. These are our summer blossoms. I hope you guys had fun with our summer blossoms, and hopefully you guys can join us next time we do our painting. Today we did a summer blossom finger painting. Those are going to look beautiful in your house. And we did use the paintbrushes at the end, which was a lot of fun to make our branches. The finger painting process is going to help all of us learn what it feels like to have something wet as our paint on our fingers, what it feels like to rub that paint against the canvas or your regular paper, whichever you did use today. And this is going to be very helpful for us moving forward in our painting careers. We're all going to be able to be painters at the end of this. So I hope everybody had fun, and hopefully we will see you again